Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be making this butterfly ruched skirt. So I made one a while ago, and most of you complained that I did not do a voiceover, so I'm doing this again even though it's 3 months after. I'm so sorry. So I folded my fabric with my hip measurement divided by 4, and I added 8 extra inches seam allowance. So right now I'm taking 1 inches. This is going to serve as my waistline, so I'm going to start taking my measurement from this point. I'll indicate that with a straight line, and the next thing I'll do is to take the measurement from my waist to my hip, which is 11 inches. Please note that this is an high waist skirt, so that is why from my waist to my hip is 11 inches. So I'm also going to indicate that line with a straight line, and I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4 on my waistline, and on my hip line I'm also going to take my hip measurement divided by 4. From that point I'm going to connect from my waist down to my hip. After connecting on my skirt length, in order for the skirt to be free, because this skirt is not going to have a slit, so I'm going to insert my hip measurement down on the skirt length, and I'll connect to meet my hip length. So my hip divided by 4 is 9 inches, so I'm taking 9 inches from the hip down to the skirt length. So when folding your fabric, remember to fold your fabric on the right side, because we are going to be sewing on the right side. So all the measurement that I took on this side, I'm also going to take the same measurement on the other side of my fabric. So I'll start by taking the 1 inch that I took out, that will serve as a base for taking my measurements. I will indicate with a straight line, and from that point I'm also going to take from my waist to my hip, which is 11 inches. I'll also indicate that with a straight line. From there I will take my waist measurement divided by 4, and that's on my waistline, and on my hip line I'll take my hip measurement divided by 4, and I will connect. And on the skirt length, like I did for the other side, I'm also going to take my hip measurement, which is 9 inches. I'm going to take it all through, and I'll make it into a straight line. So at this point, if you are still watching, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please click on that subscribe button to join this family. Thank you so much. So the next thing I did was to bring out a fresh fabric, which is going to serve as my back pattern of the skirt. So I'm going to take my zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inches. Remember, the fabric is folded into 2 and it is folded on the right side. So I'll take my zipper allowance of 1.5 inch and I'll make that into a straight line. So after doing that, next thing I did was to place my front panel, okay, immediately after the zipper allowance, and I'm going to notch on the waistline just like I did. So I placed my front panel on the back, I notched on the waistline, and I opened up my zipper allowance. So there is a notch on the waist side, okay. So from that point I'm going to take it to my machine and I'm going to hem the sides without touching the waistline. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to hem the sides. I'm not going to touch the waistline. That is the part that I notched. From there I'm going to pin my zip allowance and I'm going to sew all through. So I'll place my front panel on the back panel just like I'm doing. I've already closed my zip allowance, so this is the part that I did not sew, which is my waist line. I sewed every other part down to the base of the skirt. So I'm going to pin it just like this. You see that where I made my notch, everything is matching up. So I'm going to sew on the line that I made on the front panel of the skirt, just like this, on a straight line and on the right side. So after sewing, this is what my skirt is looking like. Next thing I went ahead to do was to open up my zip allowance. So you're going to determine how long you want your zip to be. Remember that we are going to add a band to this skirt. So the length of the band that I cut out is 5 inches. I folded quarter inch on both edge and I ironed it. So I have 4 inches. I'm going to sew on fold. After attaching the belt, I'm going to have 2 inches. So I'll start pinning my band to the skirt just like I'm doing. Just follow what I'm doing. I'll pin it, I'll sew on a straight line, and I'll turn it over to give it a finished a neat finishing, and I'll also sew. So I have sewn my band in place, and this is what it looks like. You can see that inside is very neat. So the next thing I'll do is to attach my zip to my skirt. So the length of my zip is 8 inches. So I have attached my zip to my skirt. So what I'll do next is to turn my skirt over, and from that point that I sewed, I'm going to go out by 1 inch. So I'll take 1 inch all the way to the skirt length, just like I'm doing. I'll take on this side and I'll also take on the other side. So I'm going to sew on the straight line that I've made on both sides. So I've already cut out a long strip like this. I cut out 48 inches. That is, it is folded into two. I cut out 48 inches, so 48 times 2. Okay, so you are going to determine how long you want this to be. For this step, you can also use an elastic band. It depends on how you want it. I'm using this rope because I want this skirt to be very adjustable. So if I want it very short, I can make it very short. If I want it long, I can make it very long. But if you don't like it, you can just put in an elastic band and tack it just like this. So I'm going to tack it on the upper part of the skirt, and on the down part, this is where I'm going to start adjusting. So I will repeat the same step for the other side of the skirt, and I will adjust to my desired length. And this is what the skirt is looking like. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Please like this video, okay? Be kind enough to comment if you learned something new from this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.